Hello. Dapper here. And welcome back to Terraria. This is episode 7, so if you haven't seen the last episode or the series as a whole, which I recommend you should if you've just skipped to this video, go check them out so you know how I got to this point. But if you've already seen the other 6 episodes, you are free to stay and continue watching. We don't have many things left to do for pre-hard mode. Pretty much just some loose ends that need tying up before we tackle the final boss. Sit back, relax, get yourself a nice glass of milk and enjoy, and make sure you watch until the end. Right, to be straight with you here, there's really only one thing I need to do before we fight the final guardian of pre-hard mode. And it's not even that bonkers of a task. All we need to do is find a spider cave, and get a pylon network set up there. Spider caves aren't all that common in Terraria, but you should know where to look. They spawn in the cavern layer of the underground. There are 2 things we want from one. The first being the stylist NPC, not for her actual uses, just so we can have an NPC to be the first half of our pylon network. The second thing will be later in hard mode. We did end up tunneling into a desert, where we found another Dictoise. Thank God I found the first one way higher up in here. As well as a small marble biome, which I wish Relogic did more with. Mods like Thorium made the marble biome a necessary place for progression, mainly with the berry champion boss. Just think it would be cool if they went full circle with a Greek theming as they did with the enemies. I did find this abandoned cabin along the way. It didn't have anything too grand. The notable things were the flare gun and the money. Eventually I did find the spider cave. It was relatively small, so I unfortunately had to make do, especially with how long it took to find this one. So I set up some NPC housing, found the stylist for the first half, and moved the demolitionist in for the other, considering he hated our town, the ungrateful turd. Now all of this begs the question, how will we farm spiders? Towns get rid of enemy spawns. Well, that's all thanks to the shadow candle. This nifty little trinket disables that effect, which is good for me because I'll need spiders later, but bad for the NPCs probably. I'm not sure if spiders know how to open doors. Anyhow, once I got back, I started preparing buffs a little early. I did make a lot more buffs off camera later on. I won't go through what each of them do individually, so I'll just point out the notable ones. The first being the Golden Delight. You can only make this using any gold critters, which I had to have, a golden worm and a golden squirrel I caught in a bug net. It gives you the exquisitely stuffed buff for a whopping 48 minutes, almost an hour of boosted stats. There's also the calming potion which decreases enemy spawn rate, as well as any shadow chest potions I found off camera. Those potions being Inferno potions and Life Force potions. The former creates a damaging field of fire around your character for 4 minutes, basically acting as extra last minute damage. And the latter increases your max health by 20% for double the time, bringing us from 400 to 480 health going into this boss fight. After I got done organizing my buffs, I started to build my highway in hell. This is one of 2 viable methods in fighting the boss. The other would be a bit difficult to explain without spoiling how the boss works for new players. Anyways, this highway will also be useful for any farming I have to do later on, which is a pretty nice bonus in all honesty. Being able to easily explore hell is a huge benefit. By the way, if you are enjoying this video, it would be really cool to show your appreciation through a like, as well as subscribing if you haven't already. We're nearly halfway to the big 100, and it would be awesome to have more people to join me on my Terraria journey. Thank you in advance. I decided that I'm going to primarily make this road out of ice bricks, mainly because it is a pretty nice contrast to the gloomy reds and greys of hell, and because I thought that they'd make me go faster, similar to regular ice blocks, which they did not. And watching this back makes me feel stupid. It does look a lot more pretty than if I were to use regular ice blocks though, so that's a plus. Anyways, I'll get back to you once I finished making the highway. Hey, that didn't take too long now did it? Well, it didn't for you. This was like, I'd say almost an hour's work for me building it. We've got all of our buffs ready, not to mention I did grind the Eater of Worlds and Queen Bee for the extra reforging money, so all my accessories are in top shape. Let's get this party started. Jesus. That didn't feel easy at all. This isn't me being sarcastic, that actually felt really challenging in the moment. But we did get the weapon we wanted out of this, our first hard mode summoner weapon. The firecracker. As well as a mage emblem we can shimmer into a summoner one. And on top of all of that, a 6th accessory slot thanks to the demon heart. This has overall been a very successful video. Thank you all so much for watching. Sorry if this was a short one. There wasn't much left to do in pre-hard mode. Anyways, don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a good one for me, pal.